Alright, so you just finished watching the Let's Play, and some of you are thinking, okay, what on earth did I just watch? Well, I was kind of similar, so I went ahead online, read some stuff, and basically this is what I understand now. Here is what I was able to gather from the plot. Things that I found were reasonable and not fabricated. Sometimes people want to see something so hard and so bad that they grasp at strings to give something some amazing meaning when it really wasn't intended. I mean, you know how much I love Silent Hill, but the Silent Hill fan base is especially guilty of this, particularly when it comes to Silent Hill 2. They would interpret some graphical missing texture to a metaphor that James has deep and undying love for his missing wife, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, alright, so you notice from the beginning of the game there was a heavy airship motif in the game. Hell, I mean, most of the game does in fact take place on the airship itself. We even read some documents saying that there's a huge airship crash and how tragic it was, everybody dies, etc, etc. Well, in any case, Jennifer was supposedly on this airship, and she is the lone survivor of this airship crash. That would explain why the game keeps calling Jennifer all alone and the unlucky girl, because I mean, come on! It's a freaking airship crash! So, yeah, coincidentally, at the same time, Gregory had also lost his only direct family, which was his son Joshua. Now, ever since the death of his son, he hasn't really been what you would call sane. Not even a different kind of sane, no. So, he somehow stumbles onto Jennifer and takes her in, and he takes care of her. But being unstable, dressing her up as a boy, and calls her Joshua. So, he basically keeps the illusion of Joshua living through Jennifer, and he treats Jennifer like Joshua, and that would explain the boy clothes and her short hair. So one day, Wendy somehow happened by and saw Jennifer, but, reasonably so, she thought she was a boy because, the whole Joshua thing. And that is when they started exchanging letters, as the final chapters showed, and even though it was finally revealed that Jennifer was a girl, by that point she had already called her the prince. So Jennifer was basically the prince ever since, with Wendy as the princess. So while Gregory was kind to Jennifer, she knew he was not really that stable. He had a gun he often seemed to want to use on himself, he drank heavily, and he refused to let her leave. For that reason, she made a plan to escape with Wendy. They had become close at that point, or even in love with each other, and that's one of the quote-unquote controversies of the games, because children lesbians or something. I don't know. I think it's stupid that it was banned. So we saw their daring escape during one of the chapters, and they felt bad about it, and they were worried about Gregory that he would kill himself. So as we saw, they took his gun away before leaving, so he wouldn't kill himself. And this is when they abandoned him. And Jennifer, with the help of Wendy, moved to the orphanage. I think, anyway. So this is when Wendy started the stray dog rumors about Gregory kidnapping and killing children. Using this fear, she became the leader of the Red Crayon Aristocrats, basically. Hey, it's like real-life politics! Anyway, now if you remember, Wendy is always sickly and bedridden. This is why we never saw her at the meetings of the Red Crayon Aristocrats, and this is why we got the impression that the Three Stooges were the leaders. I personally thought that Diana was the leader because she was, the strong-willed princess, etc. But nope, that doll that sits in the chair as the leader is basically Wendy's placeholder, which the game doesn't reveal till much later because it would have spoiled everything. I mean, come on. But if you ask me, that was a really cool plot twist. Now this is the point where Jennifer finds out about Puppy Brown. This is when Wendy starts to show her psychotic side and her intense jealousy. As we saw from the letters, she was very envious of Brown and demanded that Jennifer only pay attention to her at all times. When this didn't work, being that she was the leader of the club, she started spreading nasty rumors about Jennifer and having all the other members be as evil as possible to Jennifer and make her life miserable, basically. It was an attempt to make her renounce Brown and come back to Wendy. Of course, you know, it didn't work. So in a last-ditch attempt, Wendy confronts Jennifer and shows her that she had Brown killed. Then we saw what happened, and Wendy ran off. We don't exactly know where she ran off to, but I think you all have a pretty good guess after seeing the ending. So a while later, Wendy returns after things get a bit better for Jennifer and people want her to become the leader, etc. So just like peace in the orphanage for a while. But then Wendy returns in the guise of Joshua, who she had, of course, gone to Gregory and trained him to become Stray Dog and instructed him to kill everyone as revenge. When she reveals herself to Jennifer and confesses her sins, basically, Stray Dog knows she's not Joshua and she's also killed. So this is basically the main story from what I gather. There are other little tidbits that I found interesting. Like, for instance, like Sir Peter the rabbit in that chapter. It was apparently an attempt by Wendy to make Jennifer jealous. So in a way, Sir Peter was the Brown to Wendy. That was the way it was. Yeah, so Sir Peter was Wendy's Brown, basically. Yeah, I really mucked up that sentence. So that was pretty cool. Of course, you know, we didn't work. We know that. As for the whole Clara thing, apparently she was the oldest child in the orphanage and was becoming a bit of a nurse to take care of the younger children. It's also heavily implied that she was being molested by Hoffman. I mean, I thought it was pretty clear, so yeah. Some speculate that he possibly got her pregnant at some point, and that her puking during the boss fight is supposed to represent her morning sickness. Ugh. I can't tell for sure. I mean, you can speculate a lot if you like, but in this case, whatever happened to her was disgusting and sick. While this story is kind of sad about Clara, I don't see how it ties into the main story arc. It seems more like a side thing, but maybe somebody will enlighten me in the comments. I don't know. So yeah, it seems we're reliving Jennifer's memories of the whole thing. And how she was weak and timid. That would explain why she was a child. That would explain why she was so timid and couldn't stand up to the others, because they were basically her equals. But hey, that's that. I'm pretty sure I missed out a lot of other stuff, but as the main plot is concerned, I think that about covers it. I'm not sure. I don't think that the story is complicated. I just think that it's presented in a complicated and obscure way. Like, a math problem that you would be able to normally do would get a lot more difficult if you try to do it upside down on a roller coaster in Disneyland or something. I don't know. You get, it's a horrible metaphor. I don't care. But still, I mean, with the story laid out, it's not complicated. It's straightforward, but the way it was presented made it seem complicated. It's basically a way of storytelling. I think it was pretty cool. I think it was different, and it's good to explore and experiment, etc. So by all means, go ahead and yell at me for forgetting something down in the comments, and I will see you guys next time in the next Let's Play. So yeah, keep the discussion going. It's interesting. So until next time, take care. Jennifer Bot signing out.